Everyone has their own idea of perfection. What would be perfection for you in the 10 events?
Winning the Olympic Games. It's that simple.
When Bruce Jenner broke the decathlon record at the Montreal Summer Olympics in 1976, he was hailed as the world's greatest athlete. Overnight, Jenner became a national figure, attaining a celebrity status few Olympic athletes had ever achieved. Now, 39 years later, Jenner is again at the forefront of the national conversation with reports that he might transition into becoming a woman. And this comes as attitudes in this country on gender identity are changing dramatically, of course. Quote, New York Times columnist Nick Kristof wrote today that, quote, considering the violence and discrimination that transgender people endure, no one would go through this except for the most profound of motivations, to be authentic to one's inner self. Jenner seems to be preparing for a bold public mission involving something intensely personal in a way that should open up minds and hearts. So in my book, Bruce Jenner is now a gold medalist again. Come on, Wheaties. It's time to put Jenner back on the box. That's Nick Kristof in the Times today. We're back with the panel, Michael, Amanda, and Ken. Amanda, what do you make of this in terms of our culture and the way we look at things, as opposed to 40-some years ago?
Well, I mean, I think that transgender issues in the transgender community is getting a lot more attention, especially with shows like Orange is the New Black. I think many people are a little bit wary. It's important to note that Bruce Jenner has not confirmed that he is planning to transition. There's been a lot of reports about it.
Yeah.
Right. Or at all. He hasn't really commented on this
But the
yet.
pictures that you see.
Right, but so, and his mother gave an interview today saying that she didn't confirm it, but she said she's very proud of him. He's being very courageous. And so I think people are wary. His family's reality show is not known as the most tasteful and classy affair. So if he does decide to document his transition, is it going to be more sort of like what we've seen from his family, or is it going to be an intimate sort of portrayal of what it's like to emotionally and physically transition?
Well, you mentioned physically. I mean, he's had his Adam's apple shaved, I guess is the right word, and he's had there's differences in his face that maybe make him more feminine.
Growing his hair out, yeah. I mean, this is like the last frontier, one of the last frontiers for gay rights. It is a subject that makes folks uncomfortable.
There's also, to be informative, there's Q out there, which is people that aren't quite sure, and you know, I have to sympathize or empathize with everyone who has this disconnect with the way they were born and the way they feel. I mean, it's just a fact. These are people that didn't think of being transgender. They had something in them.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of a challenge for public policy. We have legislation that protects or that seeks to protect in employment, non-discrimination. ENDA is the bill. But even as recently as 2007, there was a big debate where having transgender protections in the bill was seen as a deal breaker. So this is something that I think our society is still kind of grappling with.
Every HR department's looking at this not negatively. By the way, we've come a long way from these conditions just being joke-worthy. It's a big difference. Now, instead of joking and laughing at people, we go, I'd like to know more. What's it feel like? What caused you to do this? It's an opening that we haven't had before. Last December, in fact, an Ohio teenager, Leila Alcorn, committed suicide after struggling with her own gender identity. The note she left behind described the concerns of many in the transgender community. Quote, the only way I will rest in peace is if one day transgender people aren't treated the way I was. They're treated like humans with valid feelings and human rights. My death needs to mean something. Well, I can't say it better than that. Thank you, Michael Steele, Amanda Turkle, and Ken Vogel. And I'll be right back after this.